AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
This program is paid for by friends of the Varsity Media Foundation,
the 501c3
nonprofit educational organization.
You are listening to the Varsity Friday Night Postgame Rap.
Varsity Friday Night Postgame Rap.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for our very first post-game show. Gosh, we tried to come up with a name. I put it to our team. I said, guys, come up with a name. And the best we could do, tried to put it to a vote. The best we could do was Varsity Friday Night Live, or Varsity Friday Night Post-Game Rap, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's a post-game show. It's Friday night. My name is Vince DeLisio. Welcome to a special edition of the Varsity Sports Show. We are going to be going every Friday night this fall. I am in the studio here at KDUS Hubbard Radio on AM 1060. What a night! What a night for football, man! It quite a slate of games statewide. Las Vegas as well. We're going to include them. We don't want them to feel alone. We're going to include them as part of our little family tonight and all this entire fall. I had an opportunity, a chance to really have a lot of fun tonight. I was out at Mountain View High School, two of my favorite teams, Mountain View hosting Saguaro, and we'll get to that one a little bit later on. But I want to start with, first of all, we were valley-wide. We were statewide. We had a game in Bisbee as well. The National Football Foundation Southern Arizona chapter, in collaboration with the Varsity Sports Show, was hosting the Southern Arizona Game of the Week, and we're doing it every week. We have the special partnership, Lisa Mandel with the Southern Arizona chapter of National Football Foundation. Great people over there, having a lot of fun, and we've got an amazing crew out of the University of Arizona of broadcasters, colleagues that are working their tails off. They drove out to Bisbee tonight, had an incredible experience. Bisbee hosting Douglas. We'll get more on that later from our very own Ray Cervantes down there. But I'm going to head to the West Valley, and let's get him on. Jesse Davis was out at Buckeye High School tonight. Buckeye and Yonker, one of those rivalries that is just, man, blood and guts and everything in between, and sweat and tears, and two rivals that are literally 2 miles apart, and quite a game. Jesse, you there? Jesse Davis.
How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, so give me I literally ran here. I left Mountain View. I got into the studio, left our incredible crew, Daniel Rios, our technical director, Alex Medina doing color and finishing off calling the game so I can get here on time, and Andrew Chambliss, our associate tech director, production assistant, and Roberto Astorga and Ian Monje that were covering the game last night, doing a great job, and of course Paisley Poole, our field correspondent. I left them. I came in here. I don't even know what happened in your game. Give me a summary. What happened in this rivalry, Buckeye hosting Yonker tonight?
Man, where do I start? The physicality, like you mentioned, was the main part of the game. Defense was a huge part. There's only one touchdown scored in the first half, and that was from the Buckeyes. And really just a really physical brand of football being played all the way around. And I think the defense on both sides really carried. And it picked up in the second half. The Buckeyes had a transfer quarterback from Hawaii by the name of Colin Shane Fryle, who went for a quarterback read touchdown, 70-yard touchdown, quarterback read, to kind of get things going. And then they had their sophomore linebacker, Jesse Wagner, get a late interception when they were up by 2 possessions that really sealed the game. But yeah, it was all defense up until the third quarter. Just great brand of football.
The Buckeye Hawks, led by head coach Pooney Ellis. He's an old friend of mine, and really love that family out there. The Buckeye Hawk family of coaches, staff, just great people and families. And You know what? I want to run it. We had a post-game interview. Then we're going to come back and talk to you some more, Jesse. Let's run. Our post-game interview was run by our very own Julia Coyne, who interviewed wide receiver Salvador Castro. Go ahead, Corey.
I'm Julia Coyne here with the Varsity Sports Show. I am here with Buckeye wide receiver Salvador Castro. How are you feeling after such an intense game?
I'm feeling good. We came out here wanting to win, and we just did our thing out here.
What did you tell your team? Salvador Castro!
I told them that we just got to keep our heads up, keep playing, and the game's not over until it's over.
You were able to score 2 touchdowns. What was going through your head in that moment?
I was just thinking to myself that I got to do this for my team and keep the record going, you know?
Yeah. What are some things you guys can improve for next week?
Keep our attitudes better and just play better as a team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
With the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Julia Coyne.
Jesse, you want to add anything to that regarding Salvador Castro's play tonight?
Yeah, no, he looked really explosive out there. They were kind of splitting some reps in between their quarterbacks, and he definitely got a lot of touches out there. And you can see when the ball gets in his hands, magical things happen.
Talk a little bit more about some things that Buckeye really did well tonight.
Yeah, let's start with the turnovers defensively. They forced 3 fumbles in the first half. Just really strong up front with their front 7, just generating pressure. It seemed like they were in the backfield almost every play. So let's start with that. You have like the 3 turnovers right off the bat, and then they had another turnover on downs leading into the second half. So I think their defense coming out so strong is what really elevated their game.
Awesome. Tough one last week out in Dallas, but they capitalized and really came back in a big way. What was the final score out there again?
It was 29-19 for the Buckeyes.
Nice. Buckeye Hawks and pulling away for a win, their first win of the season. They are 1-1 on the season. Congratulations, Coach Pooney Ellis, old friend athletic director Louis Contreras out there as well, and the many families, and best of all, the kids and player of the game, Salvador Castro, wide receiver for the Buckeye Hawks. Thank you so much, Jesse. Nice job out there, you and Julia. And, you're co-hosting the show tomorrow morning, so rest up and get ready. We got a great one tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
All right. Motor on easy. So, wow, what a game. And, they get their win. They get their first win of the season. Buckeye Hawks, congratulations out in the West Valley. And they've been a great partner of ours, of our program, and love working with them. Quick story for you. Last year, so I saw the schedule came out, and Mr. Contreras, the athletic director out there, he and I joke once in a while. We have a really good relationship. He's a big sports guy. He's a big advocate, loves our show, and we love all the things he's doing out there. And he said, look, take a look at our schedule and see, if there's games you want to come out and cover, by all means. And I said, you know what, I really like that first one. Well, the first one was out in Kauai at Waimea High School on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. And I said that to him, and he started laughing. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, they called me. They said, we got your ticket. You're all booked. You're coming out to broadcast our game in Kauai. So that was an experience. I joke with Coach Ellis. I ate so much rice on that trip, and I truly was part of the family. It was Ohana. So thank you so much. I had to get those pants that that kind of retract, that with the elastic waistband, but it was funny. Anyway, moving right, but I digress. Moving right along, guys. A heck of a night for high school football. We're going to move along, and big rivalry down in Southern Arizona. The Southern Arizona Game of the Week, Bisbee hosting Douglas. We got our very own Ray Cervantes, who covered that game, did color in that game. Ray, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Vince. How are you?
I'm all right, man. How was the drive to Bisbee?
Oh, once you get off the highway, it's actually a really beautiful drive. You see a lot of greenery and mountains when you're coming up into Bisbee.
Yeah, it's almost 2 hours from Tucson, but set it up a little bit. Talk to us a little bit about the vibe, the environment. This is high school football at its best. It was communities coming together.
Right. Well, it's the second longest high school rivalry in the nation.
Wow.
Down here right here in Southern Arizona. And I played football in high school, so I never really got to just watch games.
Uh-huh.
And this is the first time I've ever seen a high school game get tailgated. You know, there was a bunch of people in the park right across the street from the stadium, and they brought the energy. You know what I mean? There was grills, there was some drinks going, and people brought the vibes.
It sounds like it. Wow. So you guys got there, you set up, you did the game. A lot of people. Give us an estimate. How many people would you say were there if you had to throw out a ballpark?
If I had to throw out, probably like 2,000 plus.
Wow, that's big. I want to go to a post-game interview that you ran real quick, and it's with one of your Bisbee, the player of the game.
Sebastian Lopez.
Sebastian Lopez. So we're going to have. So Corey's going to load it for us. So real quickly, kind of give us a summary. What was the final score of the game?
It was 26-20.
Okay.
Real close game. Bisbee pulled away for a little bit, and Douglas was able to rally, but it all got stopped because Sebastian Lopez got a pick on that last Douglas drive.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. And we're getting that interview loaded. We want to run it. What do you think? Is despite the distance, it was a great vibe for high school football. Would you go back there and do another game?
100% worth it, especially this game. I mean, the stories that the tailgaters were telling me, I probably shouldn't incriminate anybody on air, but you know, there was some wild things that get done between these two high schools, man.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's run that interview. Go ahead, Corey.
I'm Griffin Engelberg from the University of Arizona, reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. This is Sebastian Lopez, our player of the game. Sebastian, knowing the history between you guys and this team, how's it feel to come out and finally get a win?
You know, it feels good. The last 3 years, everybody has busted their butts to get where we are at this point. And this coaching staff, a new coaching staff, but we've been really pushing of how to do better and want to do better and get this win.
For sure. Is there any other players on your team that you'd like to shout out tonight?
I'll shout out everybody, bro. Everybody, you know, tonight they're not even going to be able to walk and they still stayed in. Every 11 guys played both sides, and there's nothing else I can ask them. Everybody, bro.
All right, for sure. Thank you so much. Yep. Have a nice night.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Nice work, my friend. Travel safe and get back home. And we got another one next week, another big one next week down at National Football Foundation, Southern Arizona. Game of the week, and our very own Ray Cervantes. Nice work, Ray.
Thanks for having me on, Vince.
All right, guys. When we come back from the break, more on our first of many post-game wrap shows tonight of all of our correspondents statewide, including Las Vegas. We got a lot going on tonight. Vince here guiding you through this journey. Don't go anywhere. Here on a special edition of the Varsity Sports Show, a fall edition post-game wrap. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us.
Ready to bring KDUS AM 1060 into your home with Alexa?
Hi, I'm Alexa.
Download the KDUS AM 1060 skill and enable. Then say, Alexa, open KDUS AM 1060.
This is where I start my day.
Welcome back to a special edition, the Varsity Live, Friday Night Live post-game show here with Vince Delisio and the rest of our crew. They're the real stars of the show, not me. They are, and they are presenting stories and talking about all of the amazing things going on out there in the community from our amazing athletes, coaches, faculty, staff, of all the high schools that we're covering. We had 6 games tonight between Arizona and Nevada, and we're moving right along. So this is a lot of fun. It's going to be a great journey as we go through. And we're joined by, well, out at Brophy tonight. Brophy, we have Dawit Gebremariam. Dawit, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right. So talk to me a little bit about Brophy and Regis Jesuit out of Denver. You're an alum.
Yes, sir, I am. I went back and I graduated in 2021. But it was a very crazy game to start off with. I think it was definitely a tale of two halves. First off, the first half was very messy. You had a lot of turnovers by both teams, and it ended up being 7-0 to Brophy. When it felt like Brophy could have been up 21-0, but because of the mistakes that they made, they weren't able to capitalize off it. But coming into the second half, they came out with a fire under them. I think the ending score was 44-0, so you can see the coach had something to do at halftime with his speech because Brophy did not let any missed opportunities go by them. And being more specific, in the third quarter, Regis had a chance to tie up the game 7-7, and they ended up having to settle for a field goal, but that ultimately got blocked by Brophy, which ended up to them scoring on the next drive, and from then it was Brophy all the way through.
Wow. Particular standouts. I know we're trying to get that player of the game interview loaded, but talk a little bit about some performances tonight.
My biggest takeaway was the Brophy defensive line. In particular, Bastian Vanden Bosch.
Okay.
He's a 6'1" junior out of who has offers from Arizona, Oregon, Nebraska. He was all over the place. He was forcing fumbles, getting sacks. He was a part of a lot of defensive plays, and he was one of the main reasons why Brophy was able to shut out Regis Jesuit. But also, I want to highlight his brother, Case Vanden Bosch. He's the QB. He wasn't the starting QB, but he came in the fourth quarter and scored 3 rushing touchdowns immediately, showing an immediate impact, and he really helped increase the score way more. So those two, the Vanden Bosch boys, were definitely 2 players that were highlighted and stuck out this whole game.
Yeah, and so the Brophy defense stepping up in a big way. The coaching staff, talk about some of the calls tonight, and some of your favorites. Do you have some plays that they ran very successfully on the offensive side of the ball?
Yes, sir. On the offense, they started off very well. Actually, one of the most insane plays of the game was the first drive for Brophy. They got it all the way down to the goal line, and they ended up fumbling out the back of the end zone, making it a turnover on downs, basically, giving the ball to Regis. But we saw once Brophy made that stop in the third quarter where they blocked Regis's field goal, the next play, the QB, Humphrey, he went on about a 60-yard run that really swung momentum in Brophy's favor, which ended up leading to them get a touchdown, which ended up at the end putting them up 2 scores, and from then on it was Brophy all the way. So I think that was the biggest spark play for them on offense that really helped them to get going.
Nice. Next week, so how are things looking? Obviously, Regis goes back to Denver, and in terms of talking a little bit about the play tonight of Brophy going into next week's game, in talking to Coach Jewell after the game, what was the feeling walking away from that?
For me specifically, I think this is a big boost. You saw last week Brophy played a team that they were better than in Williamsfield, and they came out, dominated the first half, and in the second half, it was they let Williamsfield back into the game. We saw a little bit of a sluggish start here from Brophy in the first half where it was 7-0, but like I said, it felt like they could have been up 21-0, 28-0. But that second half really helped them to gather together, to rally behind each other, and you really saw them become closer with each other. So I think that's going to give them a lot of momentum. And then also, in that first game, you saw their defense kind of take their foot off the gas pedal. And you did not see that in this game. The defense was ferocious. They were flying over the field all night, ultimately leading them to shut out Regis Jesuit. So I think, honestly, that's a huge takeaway for me, just building that momentum from game to game. And I'll tell you, these next 2 games it's going to be a dogfight for sure. So I think this definitely helped them to get on the right track and help them to build momentum for 2 crucial away games coming up.
Nice job, Dawit Gebremariam. Nice job tonight. Appreciate you. We've got quite a marathon of a season. We're going to hear you on the call quite a bit throughout the season, and doing your wonders, working production as well for Brophy College Prep. And thank you so much for calling in tonight. Looking forward to talking to you again.
Yes, sir. Always a great time, Vince. Thank you very much.
All right. Wow. What a night. We are moving right along. We have a player of the game, and we're going to try to get that interview loaded as soon as I get it. And anyway, what a game. I tell you what, we are very fortunate in that we're covering some amazing teams this year. We have, so our regular teams that we're covering, we are doing a season of coverage, and then some teams here and there where we're catching some occasional games when we can get out and get them done, and the stars kind of align with in terms of getting our staffing and everybody out covering those teams. But tonight we were out at Dobson. Dobson hosted my alma mater, Camelback Spartans. We had, of course, Brophy hosting Regis Jesuit. It's guys, I need those interviews emailed to me. They are locked. I can't open them. So we want to make sure and get everyone honored and acknowledged. So we have with us on the line Chris Zevallos, who was covering Horizon. Horizon had their home opener tonight. Chris, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good, Vince. How are you?
All right, Chris Zevallos. So, Chris, talk to us a little bit about tonight's game.
It was a great night for us with the Varsity Sports Show team out there. Shout out to all those guys. Another dominant win from Horizon. They beat Canyon View last week, 48-8. Tonight was almost a mirror game of their game against Mountain View Marina last year, where both results were a 52-0 blowout win. Horizon looked great from all three fronts, special teams, offense. Even though the offense didn't look as dominant as it was last week, they still had a bunch of great plays. Jace Ashley, the quarterback, is a star. He's a stud. The running back, Bodie Zamorano's a stud as well.
Yeah.
The defense balled out. No points allowed. They allowed pretty much just one play for the Mountain View high school offense, and their offense, I can say I haven't seen anything like it. They had a lot of pre-snap motions and shifts, a lot of misdirection from all fronts of their game, and Horizon didn't even see phased by it.
Amazing.
And last week against Canyon View, pretty much their one mistake was a high snap that led to a safety on their punt unit.
Uh-huh.
And tonight their special teams was flawless, covering kicks. They had a couple block punts, a couple great returns. Great PATs, all just sound ball from the Horizon Huskies tonight.
Very nice. And you had a post-game interview, so set it up for us. Who was your player of the game?
I nominated, or us as a crew, we all nominated number 0, Jackson Murray, or as my colleague Mason Byers would like to call him, Agent Zero.
Okay.
Kind of similar to Brian Burns in the NFL. He's a Colorado State commit. You have him listed as a D tackle and a nose guard, but he was really moving around. He even played both ways, even getting in on offense on some red zone blocking schemes, which actually I thought he was just coming in like as an extra lineman, but he was actually I talked to their head coach Tyson Ditmore, who actually has been doing a great job in his first 2 games as their head coach in his first season. But he called him an extra tight end. So basically, inside the 5-yard line, they bring him in on a special package. They've had him line up as a wing, and they'd motion him in like to set behind the guard and set up a wham block in the middle or a chip block on the outside as a lead blocker, which actually set up probably about 3 scores for them in the red zone. And then he had 4 sacks on defense. I don't know if I don't know if I've already said, but he's a Colorado State commit, D1 athlete. Wouldn't hurt to say that again if I already have.
Yeah.
But he's a star player. Very versatile. Everybody talks about Travis Hunter at Colorado at the college level now. But as a former lineman myself, I can really envy Jackson Murray as being a two-way kind of lineman player. So,
I'd like to run that interview with Jackson Murray. Go ahead, Corey.
This is Chris Zevallos with the Varsity Sports Show, and I'm here with number 0, Jackson Murray, who had a pretty big game. A lot of different fronts that we saw from you guys defensively. Kind of describe that preparation for me.
Coach Anderson, he's great. He always has a good game plan for us. We're just kind of confuse him, put me in a good place to stop the ball, stop the run.
And I can kind of notice throughout the second half that your jersey is a little bit darker than everybody else's. I mean, you've kind of came in on some red zone blocking packages. Kind of walk me through that.
I was supposedly started. I was going to play O-line, and then they decided to put me more at like a fullback, halfback. And it's been working great on the red zone, and Coach Vaughn, he's great with that.
And then I saw defensively, too, you guys kind of switched from a 3 front to a 4 front, and then you kind of did a little stunt where you'd move to the kind of the B gap on the offensive line. Kind of describe how you can become so versatile like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been playing for so long. I've been playing for 3 years. I played every position on the field so far. So Coach Anderson knows I can play anywhere, and they just put me in the right place to stop the run.
You guys are 2-0 so far, 2 dominant victories. What do you think you guys can do better defensively?
Defensively, I mean, we just got to stay focused. Sometimes, they get the ball over the top on us. Physicality is always a must. So I just think mentally strong. That's all we need to do.
Perfect. Thank you, Jackson. This is Chris Zevallos with the Varsity Sports Show.
Layla Ruderman reporting live for Varsity Sports here at Central High School, where Brophy has just defeated Regis Jesuit 44-0. I am with Bastian Vandenbosch, our player of the game. Bastian, congratulations on a huge game. What was it like to lead this team to a defensive shutout?
Oh, man, it felt great. It wasn't me, though. It was all about the team. I get all, like, the camera and everything, but it's about them. It's about my teammates. And, I work for them. They work for me. So, this team is so tight, and I just love them so much. So.
I love that. And you guys have an electric student section, a T-shirt cannon, a DJ, all of that. What kind of effect does that have you guys on here Friday night?
Shout out to our student council for setting all of it up, man. It was awesome. It gave us the juice, and it intimidated them. They coming all the way from down for Colorado. We got to show them how we play ball in AZ,
Awesome. Well, have a great night. Thanks. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Thank you.
Guys, welcome back to our special Friday night edition of the Varsity Sports Show. It's the post-game wrap, and we're going to be running this all fall, every Friday night through at least the middle of November. So we'll see how it goes once we get to playoffs. But, if this thing gets some teeth and really gets some traction and develops, which I like it. I really like this because it makes our world a little bit smaller. We've got field correspondents in practically most areas of the state that are covering games tonight, including Las Vegas, our very own Nicholas Anderson, who you're going to hear from a little later on in the show, and just a lot of fun. It's good stuff. Our team is working very hard this semester. Very proud of their work. We're still, ironing a couple of the kinks out because they are so intense in getting the work done and want to know every facet and aspect. And sometimes you just got to get out there and just do it and not necessarily know all the nuts and bolts of it. Just get out there and roll up those sleeves and get to it. And we have an amazing team, very talented, very, very proud of them. So joining us on the line, my broadcast partner from this evening out at Mountain View High School, Mountain View, the Toros hosting the Saguaro SaberCats. It's none other than our very own Alexandra Medina. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing great, and so are the Mountain View Toros after taking down the Saguaro SaberCats 57-21 in Mesa, Arizona. It was a great night.
That is amazing. A lot of fanfare around that game. I mean, it felt like the whole city of Mesa were in the bleachers tonight. There were a lot of people there.
There was a lot of people. It was loud. The student section showed up. The fans showed up. The team, most importantly, showed up, and they had a big win over Saguaro.
It's interesting because there were a lot of dynamics going on. First of all, there were 2 of our favorite teams that were playing tonight. I mean, everybody, there's people that accuse us of this being the Saguaro SaberCat show. It's not. It's the Varsity Sports Show. But they've played a significant part in our growth as a program because there always has to be the first one. And in our case, when we started this, I'm very close to a few people out there, and one, of course, with the HJCAC and Coach Doug Madosky, who you're going to hear from tomorrow. But Saguaro, and there's always a first one, and then usually when there's a first one, then everybody else kind of takes notice, and then there's a second, then a third, then a fourth. But without that first one, it's hard to get very far. And so it was tough tonight, but it was a great game, a great call. There was a lot of action early, and then Mountain View just kind of took over, would you say?
Yes, absolutely. And Talon Arnett, the wide receiver, he's a junior. He had 3 touchdowns tonight, so an amazing performance by him. Brady Goodman, the quarterback, had a rushing touchdown himself. And then there's Beckham Barney, who was able to push through the defense. He's a linebacker, but also plays running back. So it was a huge performance by Mountain View. Saguaro High School is also amazing to work with, as you mentioned. Darius Kelly leading the SaberCats.
Yeah.
they have a bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of dynamics there, and Saguaro's got a pretty darn good freshman quarterback that really played lights out tonight, and and made some freshman mistakes, but made some great plays that sometimes not even veteran players can make. And his name is Zeeland Danielson. You're going to be hearing his name a lot over the next few years. And he's a good-sized kid, too. He's 6'2", and he's only a freshman in high school. So, some growing pains along the way. But I have a feeling before all is said and done, there's going to be a lot of accolades thrown at that team. They've been very good. Let's talk about the faculty, the administration of both schools. Dr. Mike Oliver and Athletic Director Joe Goodman, two very good friends of mine, and they are the pair that the dynamic duo of the Mike and Joe show. You're going to hear them periodically. It's like a vaudeville act, and it's really something, especially some of the dad jokes that AD Joe Goodman throws out there. And then on the other side, our friend, Saguaro Athletic Director Matt Harris. Mr. Harris has been awesome to work with, and his little sidekick, basketball coach Lucas Ramirez, who's a good friend of mine. He's kind of my nemesis at times, but he's still a good friend. We had a player of the game interview that I believe that our very own Paisley Poole ran. Who was our player of the game?
I am not sure. There's a lot of amazing players. I know she was trying to get an interview with Brady Goodman. Yeah. But I believe that she was able to catch up with Beckham Barney.
Beckham, that's right. And speaking of a historical figure in Mountain View lore, I had a chance to interview him as well. One of my idols in Todd Shell, and we'll run that tomorrow. But we interviewed Todd during halftime. What an amazing guy! Played in the NFL, won a Super Bowl, was teammates with Joe Montana, Steve Young, played for the Niners, played for some amazing coaches, Bill Walsh with the Niners, Lavelle Edwards at BYU, and of course Jesse Parker. Let's run that player of the game interview with Beckham Barney. Go ahead, Corey.
Paisley Poole with Varsity Sports. I'm here with number 10, Beckham Barney. Beckham, amazing game tonight. You are a senior. What are your expectations for the rest of the season now?
We just want to win. We want to prove ourselves, kind of go to the championship and make a name.
Yeah. And you played both ways tonight. Are you exhausted? How did you do this?
Yeah, I'm exhausted. But the line played a great side. Played a great game on both sides of the ball, so that helps me out, helps take off some of the plays and stuff. So, working for it.
And what can you say about your Toro Nation tonight? Everybody came out for you guys. How awesome is that?
It's great. To see all the fans, see a bunch of the little Toros, the student section, it's amazing. And so hopefully we just keep the buzz going and keep building.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud because Paisley did a heck of a job. We had some audio issues early on, and she kind of rolled with it and did a great job in working the sideline. She was all over the place, talking to Dr. Oliver, the principal out there, and really hitting the sideline, looking for players, and getting finally scoring that interview with the player of the game, Beckham Barney, who's committed to Cal. He's a great linebacker, great running back. He's a big kid, big solid kid. And the way it came about, where we were able to score an interview with Todd Shell last week in Oceanside, I made a comparison. I said, Beckham Barney reminds me a lot of former Mountain View Toro linebacker in NFL, great Todd Shell. Next thing I know, people are telling me, hey, Todd Shell wants to know why you're talking about him. And I said, no, it was good. I would love to talk to him, get him to come during halftime. And sure enough, he came over, and his seats are literally right down the way from where we were set up, so it was easy for him. And he was so gracious, a little humbled. I think I embarrassed him, but it was just a lot of fun. And thank you so much. We had a great time. Moving right along, big win for Mountain View. Congratulations. They moved to 2-0. And Saguaro SaberCats right now sitting at 0-2. Tough schedule. But, again, last year they were down and out playing arguably the toughest schedule, one of the toughest in the country. And what do? Well, they end up getting into the playoffs basically at 500, and they sweep through the 6A playoffs and win a state title. So who knows? Anything can happen in this with PowerPoints and the AIA, so you just don't know. We're going to move right along, and we've got one of our very own Saleh Awwad, who was out at Dobson tonight, where Dobson, the Mustangs, coached by Bill Godsell, was hosting a team that's very near and dear to my growth in Camelback, the Spartans. So, Saleh, you there? Hello. Saleh. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hey, Saleh. How are you?
Good. How about you?
You know what? We're moving right along here on this journey through our post-game show. So tell me a little bit about Dobson. What was the vibe out there like for the Mustangs?
Oh, it was great. I mean, obviously they won last week. They were coming into this 1-0, and honestly, they had a great start to the game. They looked incredible. We talked to the coach pregame, and he was talking about how they're looking to just establish a run game. Their first game, they ran for almost 300 yards because their quarterback had got injured. So they're running a cornerback / wide receiver at quarterback right now.
Wow.
So, yeah, he was telling us pregame how they're just looking to run the ball, and that's exactly what they did. I think they had maybe 5 pass attempts the whole game.
Okay.
But, yeah, they started out really strong. The running back, Javion Alton, had like a 91-yard touchdown run. He had, I think, 150-plus rushing yards. They started out 9-0. They were playing great defensively, but Camelback they got too much talent. They ended up coming back, and led by their running back, too. They just kept running all over Dobson, and eventually they kept chipping away.
Okay, so the Spartans came away with the win tonight, but we still had a Dobson Mustang player of the game that ended up having a good game. Let's Corey, why don't you load that? Let's run that interview.
Hi, I'm Nick Furman with the Varsity Sports Show, here with Javen Alston. Alston, tough loss tonight. How do you and the team plan to regroup for next week?
Just come together, bro. It's a brotherhood. We got to come together, work, prepare for Central.
You had a great game tonight, actually. You had a big 91-yard touchdown run. You were playing multiple tackles on defense. What was the mindset you came into this game with?
We came in. We objective of the season kill. We was trying to go 10-0 for real, playoffs, but it didn't happen like that. But we just wanted to come and hit some shit. To be honest, my fault.
I'm Nick Furman with the Varsity Sports Show reporting.
So, frustrating when you get a loss, but I'll tell you what, we learn from every single experience, and there's teachable moments. I always throw that out there, teachable moments in everything that we do. Coach Godsell, who is a Dobson Mustang through and through, and really pours his heart and energy into this program and demands nothing but excellence from the people that he surrounds himself with, and is really working to build Dobson back to prominence. And a 91-yard touchdown run. Saleh, you still there?
I'm still here.
Tell me about that run that this young man had. I mean, what was the play?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was they kept running a double running back, a fullback, and a running back in the backfield, and it was working all game. Javion got a handoff to the right side, I think a little pitch, and he broke a couple tackles and just beat the whole defense. He was doing that all game. He was breaking multiple tackles every single play.
Pretty easily with one 91-yard run, he was probably over 200 yards on the night. Would you say he had to have been pretty close to that?
Yeah, he had to have been close. He even left the game for a little bit. He was limping off the field, but he came back and was doing the same thing.
Awesome. Well, nice work, Saleh. Saleh Awwad out on the call tonight at Dobson. Dobson hosting the Camelback Spartans. You haven't heard the last of the Dobson Mustangs. We're going to be covering them 2 more times this season, and we appreciate the opportunity. Coach Bill Godsell and the whole Dobson Mustang family really doing his part to mold young men and young people and build a program. So nice work out there. Also with a feeder program in youth football. Guys, when we come back from the break, we're going to have more. We're going to hear from Matt Ross out at Desert Mountain High School tonight with the Wolves. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the postgame wrap. Welcome back to the post-game edition of the Varsity Sports Show. Friday night post-game wrap. My name is Vince DeLisio, and we have an amazing team this fall reporting on all things high school football every Friday night through the fall. We've got and a lot of people are making this happen. We are very grateful for that. I'm grateful for our community partners that have been a part of this journey, that continue to forge ahead and support, help support our cause and our team. And so joining us on the line. So let me set this up. I keep saying I got to set this up. I'm going to keep setting this up. We put out a couple of games, okay, that to a vote of our followers on social media, and vote on if you want us at this game or this game. And we usually end those polls, I don't know, Thursday night. Our amazing social media team, Alyssa Esquivel and Madison Kaler, and they're doing an amazing job for us. And so we assign 2 field correspondents to attend each game, stand on the sideline, take notes, take pictures, a lot of social media, and postings and interviews, pregame, postgame, player of the game. And one of those games tonight we already talked about earlier, which was Buckeye hosting Yonker, and the other one was in North Scottsdale, Desert Mountain hosting Sunrise Mountain. And joining us, covering that game tonight, is Matt Ross. Matt, hello.
How's it going?
Good, man. So tell us a little bit about Desert Mountain. What was the vibe like out there?
Well, it was electric. Coming off I believe it was a 41-7 game their first week, they were definitely hungry for their second win.
The Coach Conrad Hamilton, he's a great friend of our program, been a big supporter of ours for years now, and he will talk about it. For him, there is no perfect game. There's always something that you need to work on, and any great coach that's very humble, such as a Conrad Hamilton, will always find ways to get better. Sometimes I shudder in sending our crew down to talk to him, especially if you mention if they had a one offsides or a false start penalty. He'll talk to you about an hour about how that should have been better than that.
But let me just say about him.
Yeah.
Even though he won 36-0, his headset was off screaming at his players all the way through that fourth quarter. He did not let up because he demands perfection out of his players. And even though he got a shutout and they played great on both sides of the ball, he's expecting that next leap for their players.
That is amazing. And that's Conrad Hamilton. That guy, the Desert Mountain community is very lucky to have a coach of Coach Hamilton's caliber. He's, again, very personable, but he's business too. And if you're going to play for him, he is, Desert Mountain is one of the few big school programs in the state that will play the best players regardless. If there's only 11 on the team and they're the best, all 11 are going to play every component of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. And so he's had a good handful of players through the years that have gone both ways in his programs. And, you see that a lot in the lower levels, the 2A, possibly the 1A, the 2A division, the 3A. But you start to go 4A, 5A, 6A, you don't see it. And they're a strong 5A program. They were the only 5A open team last year. And so anyway, tell us about the player of the game.
Right, so the player of the game, quarterback number 8, Bryce Herges. What a phenomenal performance out of that kid. So they were up, like I said, I believe it was 20-0 at halftime. 36-0 at halftime, which was also the final score. So they ended up pulling him out of the game. But regardless, he had a part in every single touchdown. He either ran it in himself or he threw. So he combined almost for 5 touchdowns tonight.
Wow. 5 touchdowns that he played a part in. That is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That is amazing. I want to hear from Bryce Herges. So, Corey, let's run that interview. Stay on with us, Matt.
Good. I'm Matthew Ross here with the Varsity Sports Show, and we have our player of the game, Bryce Herges, for Desert Mountain Wolves. Bryce, how did this win feel?
Oh, it feels great. Getting a shutout with our defense and then putting up 36 in the first half. It's a great feeling. We got some good guys on our team, and happy to do it.
Based on your performance, clearly you're one of the leaders here on this team. What does leadership mean to you on the Wolves team?
It's first and foremost, as a captain of the offense, got to lead my offense respectively, but also just the team, being the quarterback. being the guy that people look up to, it's the most important thing.
Right, and if you could describe your relationship with Coach Hamilton in one word, what would it be?
One word?
I mean, you can go on into it if you'd like to.
I would just say, we love him. He's hard on us, and that's what we need as a program. And we all love him. He's great defensive mind, even on offense too. And we all love him.
Right. So what are the expectations? You guys start with 2 beatdowns, 2-0. What are the expectations for this season?
Keep it up. Just every team we play that comes in here or we go there, just put up some points, keep getting shutouts, and just do what we can do.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Nice job. Matt, great job tonight out there. Did you have fun?
Well, I would be fibbing a little bit if I said that a complete blowout is a lot of fun in the second half. But honestly, the atmosphere never left that stadium. All the fans and the bands on both sides were just pumping out that energy. So it kept the Friday Night Lights a little more entertaining.
Awesome. All right, Matt Ross, and nice job tonight out there. You and Travis that did a great job of covering Desert Mountain, hosting Sunrise Mountain. So the Wolves of Desert Mountain now 2-0 on the season, and it's a marathon of a season, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Matt, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I want to give a special shout-out to our technical directors that manage the crews, that manage the equipment, that manage our broadcasters, and just in general keep everything together. It's tough to be on point, and especially when you're managing your peers. But out at Horizon tonight, R.J. Villacorte, who's going to be the technical director all season for the Huskies. Luke Galindo tonight, who is out at Dobson, and he will be covering, he'll be the technical director for the Saguaro Sabercats this season. Chris Youssef out at Brophy, for the Broncos. Daniel Rios, who is the technical director for the Mountain View Toros. Ray Fletcher out in Las Vegas, and we'll hear from Nick Anderson here shortly, talk a little bit about the Las Vegas Game of the Week this week. And Ray, nice job as the technical director, rotating schools out there in Vegas. And then, of course, Ellie Moffitt down at the University of Arizona, Tucson. She is managing the crew for the Southern Arizona Game of the Week in partnership with the National Football Foundation Southern Arizona chapter. So great job, everyone. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, we have more coming this season. We're going to be covering flag football, and Andrew Chambliss will be the technical director on Thursdays for that game and doing a little bit of Friday night directing of some games as well. Guys, if you want us to come out, cover a game, please let us know. Hit us up. And we'll come out and do it. We'll send a couple of correspondents to report from the game, and heck, we might even do a full-fledged broadcast. So let us know. And I want to welcome to the line Nicholas Anderson out at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, one of our amazing team out there, and presenting the Las Vegas High School Football Game of the Week. Nick.
How's it going, Vince?
I'm all right, man. So Nick's been with us since the summer and joining us this fall. A little different perspective, doing a lot of outreach and calling some football games. A very, very important part of our team, representing Las Vegas. And Nick, talk to us a little bit about the game tonight. It was a team from Nevada, a team from California that were clashing.
Absolutely. This was a great game. The broadcast is we had a team out of San Diego, California, the Lincoln Hornets, taking on the Coronado Cougars and Coach Sean DePriest at Cougar Stadium. And this game was a shootout for both teams, but in the end, the Lincoln Hornets ended up winning this game 51-14. And
wow,
this game was pretty much over in the first quarter, as the Hornets ended up scoring 14 points on special teams alone in the first quarter. And then our player of the game, Aiden Jackson, ended up getting a 2-yard rushing touchdown to put the Hornets up 21-0 early. And it was easy from the Hornets there. They managed the game. They stayed calm and composed throughout the whole game, and it seemed like everyone from first string to third string got touches for the Hornets tonight.
Talk to us a little bit about your choice for the player of the game from Lincoln.
It was a tough decision, Vince. I had 3 players on my radar. I had Achilles Smith Jr., who was the starting quarterback, 6'6" senior. Of course, my personal pick, Aiden Jackson, had 2 rushing touchdowns, one in the first quarter, one in the third quarter, the 5'11" senior. And King David Dune, ended up having a touchdown as well. All 3 players were phenomenal for the Hornets. And if I were to give it overall just just defensive player of the game. I'd give it to the whole defensive line for the Lincoln Hornets as they continuously put pressure on Coronado Cougars quarterback Aiden Cross and made him scramble for his life the entire night. But overall, it was a team effort win. And talking to Coach David Dunn in the postgame interview, he really emphasized on the importance of teamwork and how that basically makes the dream work. And the Lincoln Hornets got it done tonight.
Awesome. Let's run that interview. Go ahead, Corey.
I'm Nicholas Anderson reporting live here with the Varsity Sports Show. I have Lincoln Hornets player of the game, Aiden Jackson. You had 2 touchdowns by yourself. How'd you get it done tonight?
First and foremost, I want to thank God for allowing me to come out here and perform to the best of my abilities. But overall, we started off slow, but then my line and myself, we kind of picked it up. My quarterback, KJ Smith, we started making the right calls, the right adjustments, and from then we were able to play smoother, play our type of football.
Talk about that offensive line. It seems they were able to hold for you the entire night. What do you got to say about them, and just throughout the season, have they performed?
No, yeah, those are my guys for sure. We be on each other during practice, but it makes us better. We have a great connection, and like I said, those are my guys for sure. Every day, every week, every Friday, we go in. I give them 100, they give me 100, so we got a good connection for sure.
You guys got a tough game coming up against JCRA Catholic. What's the preparation looking like against them, and how are you going to go out and get a dub against them?
Pushing ourselves in practice. For us, everything starts in practice. It starts with just overall pushing ourselves, and then that way we know what we got going into the game. We know how what we're looking like, how our performance is going to be. So just for sure, a good week of preparation, a lot of film, a lot of practice.
Absolutely. Great game for you, sir. This is the player of the game right here, Aiden Jackson for the Lincoln Hornets out of San Diego. I'm Nicholas Anderson reporting for the Varsity Sports Show.
Awesome. Nick, thank you so much. We're going to talk to you next week. Great job, my friend. All right.
Thank you very much, Vince.
Yes, sir. Okay, guys, I want to thank everyone that appeared tonight. Jesse Davis out of Buckeye High School. Ray Cervantes way down in Bisbee. We had Dawit Gebremariam at Brophy, Chris Zevallos at Horizon, Alex Medina at MtnView, Saleh Awwad out at Dobson. We had Matt Ross at Desert Mountain, Nick Anderson, of course, with the Vegas Game of the Week out at Coronado High School in Henderson, Nevada. And I want to thank you for listening. Guys, tune in tomorrow morning, 9 to 11, Varsity Sports Show. We're going to hear from the coaches, and we're also going to have some more of our co-hosts, being our broadcasters, joining us for the semester. That'll be splitting the show up, first hour, second hour. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks again for letting me indulge your ears and your minds tonight. Great job, Corey behind the glass, and we will talk to you tomorrow morning, 9 to 11, here on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Go Varsity.